So during this workshop, we will talk about what intuition is and how it can help us, learn simple techniques to tap into your intuition, practice a technique or two with your colleagues, leave feeling more confident, hopefully, in how to access and use your intuition, and also have a chance to win a prize or two. So does that sound good? Everybody likes prizes? Yep. Yay. So this is something I'll throw out to everyone, and feel free to go off mute when I ask the question at the bottom. So in terms of intuition, we'll going into what it is and how it can help us. I'll read these and just, think to yourself if this applies to you and some other examples that might apply to you. So have you ever trusted your gut or heart to make a small or large choice? Have you ever thought of someone and suddenly they called or texted you right after you thought of them? Or something else similar? Have you ever met someone and immediately felt a connection with them, whether it was good or bad? Oh, I really like this person. Oh, I just don't like this person's vibe. Have you ever just trusted that the pieces in your life would come together and, it's all in the flow and you'd worry about it later? These are just a few examples that came to me for examples of your intuition working for you and how it can affect our thoughts. And so now I'm going to throw it out to all of you. What are some other examples of when you've trusted your intuition or gut feeling? And conversely, has there ever been a time where you didn't trust it and you wished you had? So I'd love to throw that out to all of you right now, and just feel free to go off mute and shout it out or in the chat.
I can't think of a specific, but I'm a mother of two young adult daughters now, but mother's instinct for sure. My intuition is kicked in knowing, being able to read your kids.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. That is true, especially as a parent. You have to kind of use your intuition, especially when they're babies and they can't talk to you, and then they become teenagers and don't talk to you again, right? So anyone else have examples of when has anyone experienced any of these that I put out here? Like you thought of somebody and they called you or texted you. Yeah, I'm seeing some head nods. Or have you met someone you're like, I don't know why, I just like this person, or I really don't like them. So our energies is always kind of, it's, how cats and dogs have whiskers and it's supposedly for sensing things. So we have those without having little antenna or whiskers, although some of us may have whiskers, I don't know. Perimenopause. But all of these are examples of, of times where you just knew something. Okay, I'm sure there's one more example. Anyone have one more fun example? Laura?
I know I have so many. I have to say the suddenly called or texted thing happens to me on almost a monthly basis. I'm always thinking of someone from networking, a friend I haven't talked to, and then randomly they reach out. So I feel like I have a weird connection to that example specifically. It's truly constant that takes place.
It does happen a lot, and it's cool, right? And has anyone ever thought like, oh, I should do this, like even a little thought in your head, and then you didn't follow through and you realized, oh, I probably should have. So that's conversely how you're not trusting your intuition. So I will say, so the next slide, let me get there, is guess what? We're all intuitive. And who here is surprised by that? Any hands? Surprised that we're all intuitive? Or are you like, yeah, I know? Yes, some nods. This is interactive, people. Sorry, you're going to have to do some interaction. So sometimes, like I mentioned, we may ignore our gut feeling, our sixth sense, they call it, or we don't know what to do with it, right? We might get a little thought in our head, but we don't follow through. It just means we're not using it to our advantage yet. And, Laura and I talked about how can I present this to you guys, because how does this help with careers? Well, it helps. Is this job good for me? Do I like this person when I'm interviewing with them? What is the right thing for me? So I work with a lot of clients, to help them align with what's really works for them, because maybe you're applying to 100 jobs in X, but you really should be doing Y, and you're ignoring your gut feeling. So that's, I'm going to sprinkle in some examples of why this helps with coaching. I mean, when I worked in public health for years, I knew it was wrong for me, but I just had that fear of like losing my steady income. And so fear can sort of cloud our capacity to use our intuition. And now that I'm doing this full time, it's much more in alignment with what I'm meant to be doing. So that's a little plug for using your intuition for this whole, this group. Like I said, when you trust your vibes more, you might find it easier to make decisions with more confidence, be clear on what is and isn't right for you. And this can help you create more meaningful connections with yourself and others, provide clarity when choosing a job that best aligns with your values and strengths. So that's kind of exciting, right? Because you have the tools in you that you maybe aren't developed yet. But we are all intuitive, so I just need to say that because that's my jam.